Hello, everybody. Hold up, give me a second. If you're new to these streams, I always have to make sure my audio is okay before I start. Yep. Just let me make sure the audio's... Well, let me know if the audio's good, if you can hear me okay. Peter, you gonna watch Hell's Kitchen? That's a good idea. I don't know how long we're gonna be live tonight. I've been feeling a little under the weather as of late, but that's okay. An hour ago I was like really sick and I was about to call it off, but no, I'm okay now actually. Got myself a cream soda, no root beer tonight, unfortunately. You guys should be able to hear music. I cannot, unfortunately. Because instead, every stream has been like copyright, 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 even though I'm technically using royalty-free music. Or at least that's what the compilation on YouTube says. That's what I used to use. But now I took like 5 songs from the YouTube audio library, which should be free, royalty-free, I mean, and put them all in my editing program, exported it, and just am playing it on a loop in OBS. So you guys should be able to hear good music. I, however, have to sit in silence, but that's okay. As long as the music sounds good to you. King, you've got a big cold. A big cold? Yeah. That's good. Yeah, don't go to class. Don't spread it if you're sick. Definitely stay home. It's been sucky here in where I am. Not gonna dox myself. It's been raining for like 3 days straight. What do you mean, Link? Do you hear that YouTube is making people pay $50 to put the clown music in videos? What's clown music? I prefer penis music. I could listen... Well, the thing is, I don't have... Oh, you know what? I actually do have... That's a great idea. I do have headphones. They're not wired, but it should be fine. Yeah, clown music. You know what I've been watching recently? I've been binging Smiling Friends again before season 3 comes out. Maybe I'll just put on one of the episodes in the background. I'm doxing my weather. Oh no, you're gonna pinpoint my location. It's only raining in one city in the entire Earth. Maybe. I don't know, I should have checked. Yep. So, for people who this is your first stream, or your first stream since the incident, this is like the 7th or 8th stream for me. I wanted to do a few streams just for Patreon, but also just to get me used to the streaming setup. Ooh, you know what? Hold up. Pause everything. Nope, never mind. Get it back going. I saw the music stop for a second, but it's just... It took a second to loop around again. And we'll just kind of ease into this stream. Just kind of yap for a little bit, and then I'll get drawing. Because it's hard to do both at the same time. It's hard to read chat when I'm drawing as well. D-Gun, what's your thoughts on Deltarune? I'm not a gamer like that. That's one of those games that I've just kind of stayed away from. I might play it one day, because as I understand it, you can do single player for Undertale, Deltarune. I like a single player story mode. That's what I enjoy. That's why I love Half-Life and Portal so much. Maybe one day. I did hear they've been... I mean, a lot of video games recently. Silksong, Skate 4, been seeing a lot of those Explain This Atheists edits. That's been fun. You can't see the full character model. This model was created by Magic Loaf and Frichenko. That's their names. It's in the description if you want to see how their names are spelled. But they get credit for this. They did it voluntarily. I did not ask them to do this. They just wanted to do it. And she turned out so well. But they did not give her clothes for this version. So you can only see... Oh, nope, that's about as far as you can see. Yes, they technically modeled all the curves, but no. I can't show you anything else, unfortunately. It's hard to chill right now. Yeah. I don't know if you mean like just you or just the general state of things, but yeah. I didn't get any sleep last night. 0. Just because it's a lot of anxiety. But that's, kind of what everybody's going through right now. Been anxious. Not because of stuff that's happened in the public sphere. Some of that, sure. But mostly just working, thinking about getting another job. Which I might. We'll see. We'll see how things go. It's been a stressful month for YouTube. Not just for me, but for everybody. So. Creatcast, I hope they're okay. I apologize if this stream is late for you. It's 7 p.m. for me. But I know for a lot of people it's like 1 or 2 a.m., so... Apologies for that. We'll probably go at least an hour. I would say at least an hour, maybe. We'll see how I feel. And we'll see how good my drawing is. One of the main reasons I wanted to do a drawing stream tonight is because I am really excited. There's still a lot of things to work out. Some kinks. No pun intended. I've been wanting to find a good process for drawing very consistent anatomy for years. I've been drawing for like 6 years. And I've tried different methods, the stick figure method, the blocking method. None of them have worked. I found one that is so unbelievably consistent. I would say the success rate for churning out correct anatomy with this method is probably about 95%. Now, 7 p.m. 7 p.m. No, I would not do that at 7 a.m. And I kind of wanted to show you this method because it's not one that I got from any specific person. It's one that I just kind of found on my own from using different elements of different people's strategies, and it's one that really works for me. Yeah. Yeah, no spam in the chat. Thank you, Rufus. Yep, I'm not going to be drawing candles doing anything like that. No. Yeah. There's a lot more people than you're used to, King. Right now, moderation set to basic. If we need to up the ante a little bit, we can do that. It's okay. You guys know with me that it's always a learning curve. Switch 2. Expensive. Expensive much? Nah, I ain't buying a Switch 2. Okay, last question, then I'm gonna get started. 2 more questions. Have I tried the bean method? No. You wonder why I draw candles with a circle head? 1, because it's easy. 2, because I don't like the bean method either. I think it's overdone. And... what was the second question? Crap. What's my favorite airplane? Good question. I don't know. I like a helicopter. Does that count? Alright. really quick, I'm going to pull up the stream on my end so I can read chat. This is always a pain. YouTube's mobile app is always a pain to watch your own stream for some reason. I hate it. Again, YouTube in general, I don't know what's been going on, but they've just been really bad. Ew, I don't want to listen to myself talk. Ew, no. Hello, Zygon. $108 viewers. Damn, nice. Mr. Fox, it might be. I didn't have one specific inspiration for starting this. I just kind of felt like it, but maybe. Sometimes I see things that influence my decision, so. Alright, we're gonna get started. Yes. Again, new to streaming and the streaming setup, so I want to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing here. I learned from last time. Never do desktop capture. That's the devil. No, you want to do window capture. So if I open a file, you can't see it. Very important. Can you do your character meditating like the Buddha? I can at least do the top half of that. The legs are going to be a bit more difficult. Let me draw a circle, make sure it updates. Yes, we are all good. You guys don't know how much I have to fight YouTube sometimes. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, here's what I do. Here's the method. Oh, Zygon, you've been on a digital Wacom tablet? That's what I'm using. I would recommend. You didn't miss anything? We are just now starting. Yeah, I would recommend Wacom Intuos Pro. I've had to switch mine out every few years, because it just dies. But still worth it for the price. Especially for my job, you know. Here's how I draw candles. 101. Start out with a head. Pretty self-explanatory. Just a circle. Would highly recommend, if you're just starting out, just to use circles for the heads. Because so many people start with the head and they can't get it to look just perfect, so they abandon the rest of the drawing. Nope. With a circle every time, you're guaranteed to make it past that stage. Now, the first step past the head is a common step. 2 ovals for shoulders. Every method basically starts this way. Some people at this point draw a line of action. I might modify this in the future, but right now I'm not doing that. Shoulder line. Now, here's where it gets a little bit complicated. This next part you kind of have to feel out, just get better at, practice with, but I've had practice at this bit for a few years, so it's a bit easier for me. And again, my art is not very consistent, you guys know. Sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's really bad. But it's been a little better recently. Here's what you do next. You draw the shoulder blades, which is the standard. It's kind of like a triangle, you know? Like that, but I don't do exactly a triangle. Because you need to do a curved triangle. It really gets the direction, and you want to emphasize the 3D-ness of this sketch, so you have an easier time placing things like hands and legs and foreshortening. So here's what you do. Let's say this is just a front-facing person. Curved triangle. It's okay if this triangle ends up being slightly too big or too small starting out. It's very easy to manipulate. I did it on a separate layer. You can't see my layers right now in the monitor, but I can lasso this, bigger, smaller. I can do either. So make sure you draw this on a separate layer than the head, so it's easier to move. Next, you draw a line for the neck. Simple line like that. Now it's going to be a lot easier because it's a straight shot, but next, you want to kind of draw not a full line of action, but a center of the chest line for the shoulder blades. Now already you can tell at least this bottom part already kind of looks 3D. That's what I've learned, is you really need to emphasize the 3D as soon as possible. Because when your mind is stuck in 2D land, you can't really grasp the concept of putting in a good leg or an arm or boobs. I mean, I'm just being real. You'll see in a second how I draw boobs, and it's pretty consistent. But okay, no spoilers. We will not be adding detail. Here's what you want to do next. This is one of the most important guidelines. One of the most important steps. And you don't have to do it in any very specific spot. It's whatever the proportions of your character are. You want to draw the bust line, where the boobs sit on your chest. Not where they're attached. Sort of where they're attached. It's the bottom part of where they're attached. And you just want to draw like this. Something like this. Again, emphasize the 3D. So ways you can do that is like connecting this. Connecting this. Also, I should point out, I am using a tool called Brush 4 in Autodesk Sketchbook. It's the default settings. The reason I switched to this is because you can kind of use it more like a pencil. Very thin strokes. I've used this to draw before. It sucks. Don't do that. You have to use a tool that acts like a pencil. I never understood that starting out, but trust me, just using the right tool to make this sketch is so slept on. And I'm sad more tutorials don't cover this. You got an ad. Sorry about that. I did set this stream, the ads I set to the lowest possible setting, because I'm not worried about money on this stream, especially this stream. So you shouldn't be getting too many ads, because YouTube's been crazy lately. I know it. Next, you want to draw one circle in this little area. Is this the belly button? No. It's not quite the belly button, not yet. What you want to do is, this is your upper body, right? If you want to add even more 3D-ness, you can start adding in the shoulder blades. Just get it to look the most like a rib cage as possible. Then, the next step is where you start drawing the legs. And for this, I'm going to have to shrink this down a bit so I have room for the legs. Now, this next step is a bit more difficult, but this is the part where I kept getting tripped up. But this is what makes it consistent. You have to draw this bust line first and this circle. It's so important. It's the most important part of this entire thing. You want to draw another circle. And the placement and angle, the size, the angle, everything about this second circle is going to depend on what the character's legs are doing. You'll see here in a second when we start doing other drawings why this matters. You want to draw hip circles. And generally speaking, anatomy, the hips are going to be about as wide as the shoulders, so you can see this is about the same distance. But it's okay if it varies a little bit. I always tend to give characters thicker hips. It's just what I do. It's what I'm used to. You connect it with a simple curved line. Now you can start to see where this is taking shape. Now, what you want to do for this bottom part is something I've been blocking out for years, and it's been pretty consistent, although it can vary at times. It's good though. In my opinion, almost every artist does this step to some extent. Basically, what you want to do with this bottom part is you want to create women's underwear, right? It's a really simple shape. Like that. You want to make this because this forms the basis for the hips moving forward. And that's what you want. And you structure that by doing this circle, these two hip circles, this one. Now this one, our character is just going to be standing there plain. That's it. Just standing straight up, looking straight at the camera that would be there. Ooh, thank you. RCT3 is epic. You are epic. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. They're sharing my videos around. Which I always appreciate. You want to form this underwear with the bottom part there. It is a bit uneven. We can fix that up real quick. Not that it has to be exactly even, or it can be lopsided. Once you get good enough at this, I assume that you can just kind of feel it out and you know exactly the placement it has to be at. We're going to speed this up a little bit because I want to get through this first little tutorial. So you can see the hips are about as wide as the shoulders. Let me get some cream soda. Rufus, I'm just doing a straight standing pose because it's the simplest to do and it's the most consistent. I don't want to embarrass myself by screwing it up. So, drawing legs has always been a bit of a challenge for me because I always draw them too thick. They're like tree trunks. They're basically Steven Universe characters minus Pearl. I draw Garnet every time, and I need to be drawing Amethyst. I'll just say that. But I've been getting a little better. So the legs, you just kind of have to feel out as well. A lot of people will like to do this. I don't like to do that. It's just too limiting. Whenever I draw line guides for myself that aren't 3D, I feel like I'm limited. But this one's easy because it's just standing. So what you want to do is just get the right curve. And you do want to get good at making the right length of legs, but that's something I have yet to be very consistent on. You'll find that with a lot of these leg shapes, you really just kind of have to practice, feel it out. They're not going to be straight ovals, okay? You're going to have a little, here, a little dip where the knee comes down, right? That's important. See, already she looking thick. Like, this is already pretty thick. And I made the thigh gap a little too big, but it's okay. Ooh, thank you, Mr. Fox, for the $1. I hope I didn't miss any more of those, but if I did, thank you. And for the second one, you do kind of the same thing. The legs, at least for me, I'm really just kind of feeling out right now. That's what I usually do. Now what I am going to do is I made this thigh gap way too big. So I'm going to fix that. Normally I can go a bit faster than this, but right now I'm just going slow because I want to show you my process. There should be somewhat of a thigh gap, but don't make it too crazy. Already, I'm not super proud of these legs, but you know what? It's going to work for the pose that we're doing. There's no reason any of this needs to be super clean either. It's just a sketch. You can change things later, but you can kind of see how this thigh gap will come into play when you're drawing. Just like that. I'm making it a bit clean just so it's easier to see. And you know what? Circle doesn't even connect, but that's fine. All of this is just kind of feeling it out. Yeah, look at that. Those legs are way too thick. So here's what we're going to do. They're okay about there, but they need to draw in quicker. And maybe a bit shorter for this little thigh part that we've got going on here. Ooh, it's way off. Hang on. Ooh. The Wacom that I'm using, by the way, is not a draw right on it kind of display. It's like drawing on a separate pad. And that's the lower budget, but it's surprisingly easy to learn to draw without looking at your hands. I was afraid that it would take longer starting out, but it really took me a week or two. Not that hard. You get better at it. You get better. I am using hotkeys right now. I've got A and S to move the canvas, and I've got Q and W to increase and decrease brush size. So that's looking a little more reasonable. Maybe still just a hair too big. Again, I know I've been drawing characters with hips that are way too much recently. Now, here's the most important part. So, most artists spend years trying to master this area. What the hell do you do to connect these two things? And this is something that was really difficult for me. There we go. I'm still alive. Just had to make sure. And this is kind of what I found out and what I started doing. It has to do with these two circles and the bust line. So here's what you do. You want to take your little tool. You want to curve these in somewhat sharply till you get to about the top of that circle. And then you simply connect the bust line to that hip line that you just drew. Maybe add a little bit of a curve, maybe don't. Depends on whatever you're feeling, whatever the proportions for your character are. And there you go. Maybe that gap is a little too narrow, but again, it just looks too narrow because it's going out to massive hips. It's like Cleopatra's hips from Clone High. But that is basically what you do. And that torso is technically anatomically correct because you know it's correct because if you were to give this character a bit more of a belly, you can do that pretty easily by taking this bust line and expanding it. This is going to be a very, very extreme kind of cartoony belly, but the point still stands. There you go. Belly. Now, I'm not drawing those kind of drawings, if you catch my drift, but theoretically, it would still work. And that is how you draw the torso. At least that is my new way of drawing it. This one didn't turn out perfect. Again, the proportions are a little off. If I really wanted to kind of mess with this a little bit, I would expand this just a bit. Maybe don't bring the hips in so far. Give it a bit more natural proportions. As natural as you can with these legs. Yeah. That's about what you do. But the point is, connecting this line here and this line was my main struggle for years. But I finally did it in a way that was kind of realistic. In a way that I can quickly replicate with any other pose. And what the point of these two circles is, you can also take these two circles and you can feel out the muscular structure by doing this sort of thing. Taking the concept of those two circles and expanding it out a bit more. And this, what this does is it gives you a guide for drawing with a belly button, for drawing the other little muscles in this area, which I have not mastered yet, but I will one day. But this is what you want to do. So let's just leave that there for now, and let's kind of dress this one up a little bit with the normal stuff, just to see how far we can take this one in particular. Ooh, Father had a $5 donation. I apologize, I may miss some donos because I'm locking in here. I see it there. Kindling right now. Kindling? Kindling. Thank you for the donation, though. You guys really don't need to donate. Seriously. But I appreciate it regardless. I'm not great at the whole appreciating side of that, but just know that I do. Even if I don't always know what to say to it sometimes, because you guys really don't need to donate. You don't. But I just... in a world that is so economically hard, I just feel bad. But hopefully, maybe if I get a job here soon, maybe I won't need to worry about it. Maybe then YouTube can feel more like a fun hobby again rather than a job. Not that I'm not having fun. I do have fun making videos still, but I'm not gonna lie, recently it's felt a bit more like, you know, when you rely on it for money, it feels like chasing clout. And I hate that. I don't want it to feel like that. But it can happen. It can happen. I used to say I would never do YouTube as a full-time job. I never would do it. But then I started making money and I was like, work kind of sucks right now. I don't want to work at Kroger anymore. Let's try it. And then the docs happened and yada, 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 here we are. But, you know what? It wasn't even just the docs that happened. It was also, if you remember, if you've been here that long, YouTube demonetized my entire channel, which I didn't even know they could do, or they would do. But they did it, and I didn't have hope that I would get it back. So, splitting up the channel into the sex ed content on the second channel was an inevitable thing I would have had to do anyway. It just sucks that I had to do it. Splitting up the channel into two channels completely killed the momentum and tanked my viewership for a while there. But I'm not going to complain. It happens. It's just something that happens. I still have a lot of fun doing it. But I will say this. I like making mental health stuff, but I found that it just becomes an echo chamber of men lonely and women be shopping, and I don't want to devolve into one of those channels, you know what I mean? The last video is about my limit for how much I want to make sad content, so the next video is a more fun one. It's not really in the realm of discontinued sodas. It's a bit different, but it's one that I think is a bit more fun, personally. And wow, these legs are way too short. Either I made the legs way too short or the calves way too big. I'm not entirely sure. That's a bit better. That's way better, actually. So, in the future, expect, you're going to get sex ed content either way, but expect some more fun stuff on the main channel. Just stuff that I find to be a fun concept for a video. Because I'm not going to lie, my YouTube recommended has been all politics lately, and I absolutely hate it. Not good. Also, these legs kind of suck, but that's okay. There you go. That's a decently proportioned candles right there. Again, it's a bit rough, but my art always is. You know it. It's not polished in the slightest. But I kind of like that about my art. I like how it never looks too professional and too polished. Because there's some YouTubers that I really got into, and then their art or their production got really, really basic, bland, and professional, and it just kind of ruined it for me. I'm always going to be trying to get better at it, but I'm okay with it not looking pristine. As long as it looks human, in this day and age, that's really all that matters. AI can't do what I do because they would do it better than me. And I'd be like, that's not candles. So, I got that going for me. And then I finish it off with a little whap, like that. Very simple candles right there. Let me catch up on the chat a little bit, maybe answer some questions. Yeah, if I started drawing bean mouth, then it would start to be more AI. You know what, Damaso? I don't know if I said that right, but I did see one guy I left a comment under yesterday. He actually made a video about sex, and he's got like a couple hundred subs maybe. And I left him a comment saying like, hey, I do this too. Maybe we should hit me up. Because seriously, there's nobody else in this space that makes videos like this. And I just wish there was one other person. I know Professor Lando. I've definitely looked into him, and I wanted to reach out to him, but he only posts like once a year. So, and it's not sex ed exclusive either. So I don't know if we'd be able to collab or anything, but I wish there was somebody else who I could do it with. Have I played Silksong? No. Hollow Knight was I was too young for that. That was before I got into gaming, most gaming. Because Hollow Knight 1 was like a long time ago, wasn't it? Like, at least 5 years ago. At least. Maybe like 8 years. So, no. The only games I've really gotten into are... Excuse me, burped. Portal, Half-Life, Cluster Truck. I beat Super Paper Mario for the Wii, and a couple random games here and there. And I've been making my way through Portal 1 and Portal 2 and Half-Life mods, which are very fun. So, I played Portal Error, which is like a horror mod. Actually really effective. I played that last week. If you look on the Steam page, there's actually a lot of mods for Portal and Portal 2 coming soon. I can't wait to play them. Those I'm definitely going to play on stream, by the way. Yeah, expect quite a few Portal streams in the future. Because seriously, I love that game so much. Ooh, that's a little bit of a not good breast. But you know what? This stream's kind of been like me just yapping anyway, so I'm okay with this stuff looking less than perfect. Everybody kind of knows how to draw boobs, right? Watch my stream get shut down because I'm drawing a boob. Like, not in any sort of detail, but hey, you gotta learn somehow. You want to kind of use the bust line for, you know, bit of a reference. I don't like to do the symmetry when I'm drawing these, but this is just a quick demonstration. Draw them teardrop shape. Everybody starts out drawing boobs like perfect circles, and you just gotta upgrade from that, man. You gotta upgrade. I'm assuming someone just joined the stream and said, "Where are your clothes?" I don't got them. Ew, those are awful, actually. You know what? Get those out of here. God, I drew those awfully. Usually I'm so much better at that. Damn. Sometimes I have preloaded or pre-drawn boob shapes, but I'm not going to pull up one of those. Let's try that again. Let's try that again, but with more focus this time. I did draw the bust line a bit too high up, so that's part of the problem. We'll just draw smaller chest here. Nothing too crazy. Smaller, not really smaller, but, you know, medium size. If you're talking about real world proportions. It's still not great. I have trouble drawing smaller breasts. I genuinely do. It's just a hard thing to do. Because when you're drawing a breast, right, you want to draw it like teardrop shape. It's basically a water balloon. This stream should just be called Candles Struggles to Draw a Boob for 30 minutes. That's a bit closer. It looks extra like, whoa, just because there's more lines. Normally you wouldn't see this top part. That's what you'd see normally. But in order to get the shape down, you need to do this. You know, this Candles is just going to have one boob. That's it. That's how you draw candles. Now, seriously, I gotta read the chat. Danny, nice profile picture. And you right, their ads have really been out of control. How long did it take before I felt my drawings were actually good? I didn't have my first drawing that I thought looked good until maybe like 2 years into drawing. Most of my drawings still end up looking about 80% as good as I want them to be. It's been not great lately after the update. The update art turned out pretty okay, but after that, most of my art still looks kind of awful. To me, at least. It looks okay. This turned out okay. That's what I'm saying. This new method for drawing is working really well for me, personally. Yeah, it took a while for me to get really good at drawing. But then again, I didn't dedicate 6 weeks to just learning anatomy, which is what I should have done. I had way too much fun drawing the same thing over and over and not getting better at it, which was kind of a problem. But definitely I needed more practice, or I needed more reading than practice. But you gotta have a good balance of both, honestly. Have you ever felt like branching out and drawing other things? Asks Chris. Honestly, I've tried, but it's just boring. I hate to say it, but it is really boring not drawing candles at this point. I'm really bad at drawing backgrounds still. Haven't done that at all. Even drawing men. Hard doing it. It's hard to draw the male figure. I'm just so used to drawing this right now. And I always kind of justified it by saying, well, art is just supposed to have fun, and I'm going to do what I think is fun. There are some people who just draw backgrounds for a living and can't draw people to save their lives. So, it's really okay. I've never beaten down on myself for not being able to draw other things. Especially if the channel art is just to serve the channel, and that's it. I just need to draw candles, and that's kind of it. I can grab backgrounds from other places. You know, I can make the channel art whatever I want, and candles is just more fun to draw. Which becomes a problem sometimes when I just go on my NSFW drawing benders. I'm pretty open about that. I've been really doing it in moderation, though, for the last couple months, so that's been good. Actually, I made that video like a month ago talking about how drawing that stuff can sometimes really propel your art skills. This whole process that I'm showing you today, I only learned it because of these drawings that I was doing. So, there you go. I literally proved what I said in the video just a couple weeks ago with this new process. This new process I was only able to learn it because I did that so much, and I learned how to do it properly. So, there you go. Would only recommend doing it if you're old enough, and I don't want to affect any young minds, but if you're old enough and you have the technology, we have the technology. It helped me, so there you go. I'll just do a few little doodles here while I read the chat. We'll set you over here. Sonic Racing? Yeah, I've heard that's been doing better than Mario Kart World, hasn't it? That game kind of fell off. Well, I heard they kind of ruined the whole, like... They ruined the whole system. Or they got rid of, like, random course play. Or they changed it so it was awful. Yeah, people have been moving to Crossworlds now. There we go. Draw that there. Any advice for a new artist? Oh, I wish I had that book with me that I learned anatomy from. I didn't finish it, but it is actually decently helpful. Andrew Loomis, I believe, is the name of the book, or the name of the guy who wrote the book. Very good anatomy book. I would recommend it. You can buy it at Barnes & Noble. That's where I got mine. Yeah. And honestly, just do it. Draw what you like. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Don't let anybody tell you you should be drawing this or you should be drawing that. Just draw what you want and get better at it. That's it. Because if it's not fun, you're not going to actually learn anything. Even if you want to do it professionally. Just draw what you want, man. Have fun with it. And also, delete Instagram. Unless you're posting on Instagram. Don't look at what other artists post, because you're going to make yourself feel worse every day if you look at it. Will I share my NSFW art? No, I will not. I will not. The only reason I would ever share NSFW art is to make a comic or something with a story where I had to depict sex as a relevant topic. Maybe one day. But I'm never going to share it just to make money. I don't want to do that. Even if I know that no kids are going to see it, I still don't want to do it. Having it out there in the world means you can never get a job in anything else ever again. Same thing like if you're You know, if you're a porn star, you have to do that for life. You can't get another job. So, no, I'm not going to share it, unfortunately. I might share like a cropped part of it, which I have done before. If this candle's face turned out really nice, or the arm turned out really cool, or the hand, I'll share part of it, but I won't share the actual pornographic part. Just because I don't play like that. I draw to have fun, not to make money on the art. Plus, my NSFW art is really bad, like 90% of the time. And it's just me trying out something new. So I wouldn't even share. I don't have any NSFW things right now that I would even be proud to share, really. Maybe one or two really good ones, but no. Esteban, that's a really good question. People used to ask me that question a lot more often. No, I'm not against it. I don't care. I am not Candles. Candles is not me. Spoiler alert, I don't look like Candles in real life. Shocker. So, this isn't like a Jaden Animation situation where it deeply affects the artist. That was really sad what happened to her. But, no, I do not care. As long as you don't actually draw like me in real life in Candles, that would be really weird. Nope. Do whatever you want. Would rather you do it, like, obviously nothing illegal, nothing morally incorrect when you draw it. I prefer it, but you can't really stop it. But no, I knew from day one, if I had a female avatar, it's gonna happen. I do periodically check Rule 34 for Candles, just to make sure that it's not immoral, Rule 34. Even if I saw one, I wouldn't be able to do anything about it, but just making sure that no one's going too crazy with it. So, plus I do like looking at fan art, no matter what kind of fan art it is. I'd prefer you do not send me that kind of fan art. Only send me stuff that I can include in videos, please. What's my favorite Pokemon? Yours is Weevil. Mr. Fox, so is mine, but for the wrong reasons. Hey, if you know, you know. Just saying. See, look at this. I drew Candles at a different angle, and I wasn't really paying attention that well. And it still kind of looks correct, right? This is like a 3/4 type angle, dramatic stance. And it still kind of looks right. And that's why I'm saying this pose really works. It will work for you. See, that's a little better. Still legs as thick as tree trunks, but it's okay. I would like to make a comic one of these days. I have a story I'm cooking up, but I just need to be confident enough in my artistic abilities. I would love for somebody else to draw it if I could afford it, but I just can't right now. And I want to pay an artist a really good wage, and I want them to take their time, no matter how long it takes. I want to, if I have an artist to do it for me, which maybe I do, whatever, then I'd want to be a good boss. You know what I mean? I hate jobs right now because they really take advantage of their workers. And an artist needs to take their time. Obviously, if it's taking like years, tell them to hurry up or change the strategy or whatever. But within reason, I would want them to just take their sweet time. I've tried to make this comic several times, but it always boils down to I have too much fun making the character designs, and then I never actually start writing it. That's the problem. But hey, I've been getting a lot more confident blocking out my characters and sketching, so I could probably sketch a comic. I don't know if I could do full line art and full color, but I could sketch one effectively. I could storyboard it and then hand it off to an artist. I might do that, actually. If I can ever make a comic, I would storyboard it myself, but then pass it off to another professional artist to make it right. Or maybe I'd have several artists do it. That'd be kind of fun. Like a Shrek Retold kind of story. Yeah, that'd be cool. Slightly bigger boob on this one. Oh, I guess it's not too bad. I've had Pearl Jam, Even Flow, stuck in my head for days because of Skate 4. Ooh, Adrian. Thank you for the super chat. Armadillo Man. First time subscriber and chatter. Well, thank you. I really appreciate the super chat. I appreciate the view. I appreciate you tuning into the live stream. I really want to make this a weekly thing. I don't know if it's always going to be Thursday at this time. Maybe I'll do a poll for when you guys are available to watch, but weekly live streams is just a good way to keep the community healthy, the community's flowing. It's how we develop inside jokes and our own memes. You know. I just needed to get better at live streaming, and I'm still not terrific at it. I'm a little off my game today because I'm sick, but I think I'm doing okay. If you were a Patreon member and you were here for the Dick Size stream, that was the best stream we ever did. I should clarify. We talked about Star Wars characters and how big their dicks would be. And that was really fun. I want to do more streams like that. I'm not going to make any money off of it. It's not going to be monetized probably, but it's just fun. Vintage Story. I might have heard of that, but I don't know. I'm not sure what that is. If you don't know what that stream was, go to Lavender Coretta and scroll back a few videos. Actually, let me get into OBS here. And let me pull up the thumbnail, because it's pretty funny. I was pretty proud of the thumbnail for this one. Also, I'm shocked at how many people still don't know the sex ed videos are public. They're just on a separate channel. So many people still don't know that. But what can you do? I'm really proud of this thumbnail just because it's so clickbaity, but I think it's hilarious. I traced the emoji meme. And I just put random numbers for like Palpatine, Jar Jar. I am not on Twitch. Yeah, a lot of people call Candles an armadillo. I kind of see it, but I'm not going to spoil the lore, but she's not an armadillo. Not really. You'll see. It'll make sense. I do have an answer to what species is Candles, but I'm not going to tell you yet. Gonna have to edge you for a little bit longer. Oh, sorry. My voice is getting a little raspy here. You can probably tell. Because I'm not feeling too great. But the cream soda is helping. I have a few YouTube videos lined up to eat to after this stream, which is always nice. You're not getting a lore drop until I'm about to make the comic. Maybe I'll drop a few hints here and there. I really need to hammer out the extended universe and the rules of the world that Candles and Coretta exist in. But once I do, you'll see. I've got some ideas that are Pretty crazy. Oh, Peter's watching Hell's Kitchen. Let's wish him all a good time in hell. No, kidding. Miss Effie, hello. I saw you just popped in a little bit ago. Loom, a bit late to this, but yeah, post it there. Don't send it to me because there's no way of me verifying your age, so I don't want to get wrapped up in that. But you can make it, just post it where I have to go and find it and not like where I have to open up my emails, please. Because I don't mind looking at it, trust me. It's cool. I don't mind it at all, but, you know. Thanks. Mascot head design in plush. Appreciate you. Ooh, I should get some honey. But the problem is all I have is hot honey, and I don't think that would help. Yeah, the Jaden situation, that was a while ago, but it's just sad. And you know, me collecting references to use for my little drawing excursions every once in a while, occasionally you come across one of those and you just think, ugh, and it just ruins the night. There's been a few times where I was really locked in and I saw a drawing that was so funny I had to put the pen down and just stop, and I couldn't continue for the rest of the night. Cheese Bread, is the Discord still open? I don't know. I deleted my entire Discord account. I went scorched earth on social media. There's no way to recover that account. I've lost all contact with people that I knew before, which is sad, but it had to be done. Not because of them, but because of I need therapy. I'm sure I'll get it one of these days. Ape Thunder, what's up? Alaboy, we already did a lot of the drawing. I don't know how much longer I'm going to go for because I'm kind of feeling not great. But you can see some of the things we did here. If you watch the stream back, you'll learn how to draw candles the way I do. It's not always perfect, but as you can see, with these two different drawings, it can be pretty consistent. Consistent enough to look decent. The sketch always looks better than the line art, I've learned. I've cycled through different kinds of line art over the years. The official candles is this tool. I've also done this tool, standard pencil. But lately, here's what I've been doing. I've been doing this. About that thickness. And that is the line art. And I'll tell you why. It perfectly toes the line between detailed and not detailed enough. Candles always looks better when she has thinner line art, in my opinion. The main channel art has thick line art, but for thumbnails, thin is better. More detail, thinner line art, generally speaking. So for this, you still get that solid outline, but you can still do simple shading like this. You can do hard shadows set to multiply. You know, that's pretty good. Pretty standard ball right there. Then you do a soft light. Nope, not that. Kind of like that. That's kind of the art that I use. That's kind of the art style that I use for candles and the coloration. maybe if I want to add a bit more detail, I'll break out what's called the glaze tool. And this just helps you to kind of clean up the highlights a bit. Add a few more detailed shadows. Something like that. And then you do black overlay. You get the dots tool out. You can add some freckles to their skin. You can also add a spot of airbrushed red to any fur color. This isn't really a coloration stream, but this is kind of a good example of how I shade candles in Coretta. Ooh, Blue Hush. Yeah, I am definitely excited for the final Spacebook. Seriously. I cannot wait for that. I don't know the update. The last update... Let me actually check to see when the last update was. Even flow. Gonna get copyright strict for that. Space ends. I believe they said end of October they were gonna try and get it out. 99.999% done. Gonna have a new update tomorrow. Oh, okay. Alright. Hell yeah, looks like you're gonna get a major update tomorrow. I bought the full color version, not the midnight version. I couldn't drop another 100 on it. Mijo, will I ever take commissions? If I get just a little bit more consistent, yeah, I probably will. Eventually. Not to do any, like, money, but not to really make money on commissions. I wouldn't charge enough to do that, but just to be nice to people and just to do it for fun. I'm glad you said something, though, because I wanted to do one more thing. Oh, God, not that. Hang on. It's going to take me a minute to set this up. But, ooh, they're already preloaded in here. Nice. Okay. Let me see if I can do this correctly. First of all. Good, okay. I was saving this for the very end of the stream, but I should do this now while we have some people in here. Not display capture, let's not do that. Wheel. Hopefully I'm not sharing any information that's too sensitive here. Really should start doing OBS Studio so I don't have to do that. But okay. Also, you can't see candles. That sucks. But here's what I have. There we go. This is a giant wheel. And it's got the names of everybody who's a $5 Patreon member. And what I'm going to do here is, instead of the Patreon members getting a live stream every month, since those are now open to the general public, these are the $5 names. And instead of the live stream for Patreon members, because, you know, I want to give a benefit for those people paying every month, I want to do something where once a month, I'll make a video where I'll pick 3 names out of this giant wheel of Patreon people, and those 3 people, I'm going to get together in a group and I'm going to say, okay, you guys are in charge of directing the next video. And what I mean by that is 3 people. One person picks the next outfit, one person picks the next video topic, and one person picks a full body drawing that I do of candles or Coretta, depending on the channel or the video topic, whatever. So once a month, everybody who's paying for that month has an equal opportunity to get entered into this contest. So you're not really directing it so much as you're controlling the next video I do completely. So obviously there will be some stuff that I veto, if you do any outfit that's too sexual or any topic that's too out there, I'll just say, no, probably not, we can't do that. But yeah, every month, it is kind of like a lottery, sort of like gambling, kind of. You're not getting any monetary compensation back. It's just once a month, you have a 1 in 100 people or so chance to... Actually, there's 86 people. 86 paying people right now, I think. 1 in 86 chance every single month. So if you don't get it this month, you still have a chance next month. If you win it this month, you still have a chance to do it next month too. So that's what we're going to be doing. And I'm going to spin the wheel 3 times on this live stream to see who our first 3 contestants are. And, if I contact somebody and they don't answer me, then I'll give them like a couple days to answer. But if they don't, I'll pick somebody else. It's fine. So, yes. Yeah, somebody gets to choose the outfit, somebody gets to choose the video topic, and they can go into detail about what they want me to cover. And somebody gets to choose the full body outfit drawing. Maybe in the future we'll up it to 4 people, and we can have a 4th person choose the video game that I play in the background. I don't know. Yeah, here we go. Let's start the spin. Peric. If you're here, congratulations. If you're not, I will talk to you later. That is person number 1. Now let's do person number 2. Oh, King, it was almost you. Damn, sorry, bud. Kai Tho. I don't recognize either of these names just from the chats, but that's okay. I'll reach out to you later. And one more person. D-Dash. I know that person. All right, so I didn't write down those names, but I can watch the live stream back to figure out who I did. So those are the 3 names. If you are one of those people, I'm going to be reaching out to you very soon. If you're not, and you're one of the $5 members, next month you have an equal opportunity to do this. So, and if you don't want to do it, you can forfeit, whatever you want to do. But this is something I came up with just recently. I thought it was kind of a cool benefit that I hadn't really seen before. The way I make my videos are kind of unique to where, since I'm in complete control of production, I can delegate, I have the freedom to say, okay, you the viewer get to choose. And that's not going to affect any other artist making art for my channel because I do it. So, yeah, if you're one of those 3 people, this month on Patreon, you get to direct the first video after this one that I'm working on now. So the next October video, you get to control. I did see a message, God T, why can't I message you on the regular show video you made? Because I might have comments turned off on that one. I turned off comments for a lot of my videos after the docs, so I might have to fix that. Thank you for telling me, though. So if someone wanted to reach out, how could they reach you? Patreon has... Patreon... When a lot of people hear the word Patreon, they think, oh, I have to pay. No, you don't. You can join for free on my Patreon. There's a free tier, and that free tier comes with the ability to send me a direct message. So if you want to reach out to me directly, you totally can. I may not always answer right away. I only check Patreon once or twice a day, but I try to stay on top of it. But I'm going to be reaching out to you three myself. So if you're watching and you're one of these three, wait for me to message you first. That wheel was fun to watch. A bit nauseating, though, wasn't it? Probably. Yeah, Adrian, it was bad. A lot of people here don't remember the docs, but some of you do. It was not fun. Not fun. The docs happened the day after I did my first ever live stream. So, yeah, it happens. It was a fun stream, though. We did Half-Life 2 mods, like the day after they allowed mods to happen, and it was really funny. Maybe I'll do that again one of these days. We'll do another stream where we do Half-Life 2 mods. Thank you, Cookie Mage. I'm going to be winding down the stream here, if you couldn't already tell. My voice is completely shot. So, yeah. If you guys have any questions for me while I wind down the stream, let me know, and I'll try to answer them. I'm going to scroll up, though. Have I played Silksong? No, I haven't. If you have a question like, have you played this video game? Probably have not. Maybe I'll play Skate, though. That one looks kind of fun. You know what game I want to play? On Steam, it's called Baby Steps. It's like $20. Love you, Mijo. Thanks for being here, bud. Bud. I don't know why I called you Bud, but thank you for being here. It's called Baby Steps. There's some inappropriate parts in the game, so I can't stream it, but it looks really funny. It's like a Bennett Foddy game where you're just controlling the legs. Yeah. Amuletta, the stream should be archived after this, so you should be able to watch it very easily. You should be able to, right now, scrub all the way to the beginning and just start watching if you want. Thanks, gamer dude. Appreciate you. Have a good rest of your day. Caesarian, you're playing Skate right now? Are you listening to Even Flow? Ooh, Mr. Fox, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea, actually. I should do that. Maybe that could be like a prize for a tournament, too, or something. They asked, can I make a stream where I draw people's OC? Yeah, I should do that, honestly. Yeah, Blue. It said tomorrow there'd be a big announcement, so keep an eye out for that. Random TV, we're just winding the stream down right now. Should still be going. Do a stream about drawing heavyset people, anthro characters? Yeah, maybe. If I had to be a fruit, what would I be? Probably a banana. So I can be... No. No, bananas are good. Oh, actually grapes. I actually don't mind being short most of the time, so I'm going to be a grape. I would hate to be tall. It would really put all eyes on me, and I don't like that idea. Hello, Windows. Passion fruit. Hell yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll go for a few more minutes. We've been going for about an hour and a half. Just answering questions at the end here. Any other questions that I missed? I think I got all the super chats. Adrian, I did see you said, have I done one about... Whoa. I just had a stroke. Adrian Parchman, $5. Have you done a stream about drawing heavyset people anthro characters? No. This is the first stream, but I could do that stream. I'll keep that idea in my head. Let me get better at drawing first, and then I can... Maybe I can do that. Thank you for the donation, though. After this, probably either going to watch Andor or Smiling Friends again. I've been watching both of those recently. I don't know why I've been watching Andor. It's just, God, that's such a good show. I just see someone. I hate honey. Markiplier. Okay. Have I purchased lavender colored candles in real life? Not lavender ones. Right now I have a bunch of fruity ones and also some... I have a hazelnut one in my office right now. The Renaissance men are coming? Shit, better watch out. Should you become an entrepreneur or an artist? Cookie Mage. I actually was originally going to go to school for entrepreneurship until I spent one day in math class and I said, nope, I'm doing art. Can't do it. Punk rock gamer. That sounds fun. Good night. A candle's candle? Yeah, if I could find a manufacturer. A lot of people joke around like they want the candle's body pillow. Guys, I would make it if I knew a manufacturer who would do it. Like, I don't know if we would have enough viewers right now to do another makeship, but if anybody knows how to actually make a body pillow, I would do it. Loom, do you have any videos about people who are into furries and why? I have not done a video on that yet, but I have tried to do it before. I just never got to the end of the video. I never finished those videos, but I've been wanting to do it. That's a good video idea. I'm surprised I haven't done it yet. I would try to make it coffee scented. That would be cool. Potato consumer. I knew somebody would think that. My bad. Gwyneth Paltrow, Petrichor. No, the candles, I assure you, the candles body pillow would not smell like a vagina. So, no. Already by default, if it doesn't smell like that, it's already better than what she did. Circumcision video. Yep, gonna be doing that at some point. Moto Rider 1K. Here's the thing about the plushie. I really liked Makeship's approach to it, and I'd want to do them again. Do it through them. But last time was right before the docs, so we didn't meet our... And we weren't probably going to meet our quota anyway. So we just didn't sell enough, which it's fine. Happens. But if I'm start doing like gangbuster kind of numbers, then maybe. But right now it's just not in the cards. It would have been so cool though to have a candles plushie. God. Nope, didn't happen. It's okay though. that week, that terrible doxing week is over, but yeah, we're out of that now. We can try again, but the thing is, I don't think they're going to let me because it didn't work the first time. Unless they saw that I like tripled my subscriber number, I don't think they're going to do it. Vincent, you might not have been here for the docs, but I'm not going to get into it too much because even talking about it just pokes the bear. But December, about a year ago, almost a year ago, I got doxed, and it was really, really bad. It wasn't just me, it was my family. It was a nightmare, and trying to explain to my family what was happening was difficult, and trying to explain to them why they were getting calls from random people and death threats, it was really scary. I quit YouTube for several months, and I moved now, so even if they're watching, they have no idea. But yeah, it was terrifying. Yeah, it was November of last year. It was like one day I got a deal for a plushie, and then 2 days later, oops, I'm doxed. Why? They just saw one of my videos. They didn't watch it. I don't think they even watched it. They thought I was trying to... I'm not going to get into it. I really don't like talking about it, but... Because again, every time I mention them, it just pokes the bear. But... No. Actually, I think the video, What Happened to Lavender Coffee, is still up on my channel, so just watch that video if you have any questions. Yeah, it's all better now. It's all better. I get a comment every once in a while. I got a comment with my name and address recently, and that really freaked me out, but I made sure to blacklist a specific word so it doesn't show up anymore. Yeah. When I tell you I was doing 100,000 views per video easy until the docs. And then I separated it into 2 channels, and then, well, the docs and YouTube demonetizing me. After I separated the sex ed content into a second channel, viewership just hasn't recovered yet. But we're working back up to it. It's fine. Yeah, thank God YouTube has a feature where you can blacklist certain words, like your address, from comments. So it's a very good feature. Watch, they'll be like, no one actually uses that, let's take it away. Like the dislikes. Oh man, my voice. Sorry about that. I'm sorry about my voice right now. It's probably not the normal smooth voice you're used to. I've been talking for way too long. Yeah, Rufus, Kiora. There's just some douchebags out there. Honestly. But it was a good experience. I mean, it wasn't a good experience, but it taught me a lot about my own mental health and when to step away, and it taught me about just because it all felt very personal attack-ish didn't mean it was right in my, corner. Like, it was scary, but it was threats, threats, that's it. So, you just can't look at that stuff, really. Excuse me. Whew, I'm burping. Petrichor? That's a great name, by the way. Petrichor? God. If I had thought of that name, it would have been like the villain for my comic. It's just a great name, Petrichor. But okay. Petrichor says, let's spin it positive. What's been your favorite part about doing YouTube? Well, YouTube has always been the most fun for me when it was just a hobby. When I have a really good idea, the minute I upload it and those views start coming in, it's just a good feeling. Like, I'm free, that last video is done, the next video can be whatever the heck I want. Are we back? I think we're back. Should be the same stream. I don't know. Something happened with my computer memory. I don't know what happened. But we're still here. That was weird. I can't pop out the chat right now, but that's okay. We're winding it down anyway. Baba Booey. Let's end on that. Okay. Thank you everybody so much for watching this stream. Next Thursday at 7 p.m. we'll schedule the next one. Don't know what we're going to do yet. If you have any ideas, comment them under this video. Not in the live chat, but in the actual comments. Make sure you... Yeah, if you have any ideas for stuff you want me to do on the next week's stream, I'm going to try and do these streams every week. I'm going to be gone at the end of October for 1 week, but other than that, I want to do this every single week. We might play Portal 2, we might play Half-Life, we might do more drawings, we might... I don't know. We can do whatever you want. But, yeah. I'm going to get better at doing these streams. I'm sorry, a guy. Is that Corporate Guy? If that's you, you just got here and I'm just now ending it, and I apologize. This stream is going to be kept archived, yes. As soon as I hit stop, it should be archived, so. Plants vs. Zombies? Sure, whatever. Yeah. Let me scroll up, list off some of the names here. Ooh, you know what? How do I... Is there a way to just see super chats? I don't know if there is. Ooh, I can't scroll up. Maybe there should be a way to find that later on, but... I can add stream markers. I can insert an ad right now. I'm not going to do that. But yeah. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I love you all. Good night.